Good afternoon, everybody. This is Debbie Horovich from Social Sparkle and Shine and from Celebrity Hangouts on Air. And I'm really excited to be here this afternoon with my special guests, Guy Kawasaki and Peg Fitzpatrick, to speak with us this afternoon about the ongoing challenge that I personally have and probably share with many of you, and that is creating images for my social media content and my blog posts and my business that I know that these images will be compelling and that they'll get the message across. And so I happened just to really catch an email last week from Guy letting me know that he's got a new assignment with Canva. And so, of course, I looked at it right away and I fell into this hole of bliss. And I have been using Canva for the last 3 or 4 days and really making changes to all of my landing pages, making changes to all of my ads, even the blog posts that I've been submitting to editors. The editors are coming back saying things like, "You nailed it," and they'll take a glance at my email and 2 seconds later tell me that I nailed it, indicating that they are reacting to the images that I'm using. And so I'm so happy to be here today, and hopefully we have lots of questions from the live audience. I know we've got a great group of people watching, and thank you so much, Peg and Guy, both for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So I'm going to start off, and first of all, I want to thank you. I learned a new word today from that introduction. It's called bliss hole. So.
Thanks, Debbie.
Yeah.
I didn't even. I think I might have said a hole of bliss, but okay. It's a great term.
Yeah. So now when I meet people who are really happy, I can say, "You're a bliss hole." Right?
Fall into a hole of bliss.
Okay. So my name is Guy Kawasaki, and I am the chief evangelist of Canva. We have with us also Peg Fitzpatrick, who's the head of social strategies for Canva. Peg is in New Hampshire, and I am in Silicon Valley, and we are going to give you a quick tour of Canva. So I'll start off, and then Peg will do some tutorials, and then I'll show you some use cases, and then we'll do Q&A for that. Okay? So let me start. I am going to share my screen because we like to share screens. So confirm for me that you do see my screen.
Yes, we do.
Is it nice and visible and everything's pretty?
It looks perfect to me.
Okay. So I will begin my presentation by going back a little bit in time. I started at Apple in 1983. I was Apple's second software evangelist, and this is just before Macintosh was introduced. And my initial contact with Macintosh was when a classmate of mine from Stanford took me in the back room of a building at Apple, secret building, nobody knew what it was, and he showed me Mac Paint. And I hope some of you are old enough to remember Mac Paint, but it was just an amazing moment because I had been using an Apple IIe, and it was like 24 by 80, and there was like text, and if you really were cool, you used X's and O's to make graphics. And he shows me Mac Paint, and you can draw a geisha like this, and you have this spray can and lines and fonts and multiple fonts, multiple sizes, fill patterns, just like amazing. It was as if the angels started singing and the clouds parted. And that was my introduction to the concept of killer apps. Mac Paint was truly a killer app. And as a software evangelist, I use Mac Paint and Mac Write to demonstrate to everyone, why Macintosh was so different. And fast forward a few years, and I see another killer app. This killer app is called PageMaker. So again, the angels started singing, the clouds started parting, and it's because PageMaker democratized printing. Now, with PageMaker and a laser writer, anybody could make a newsletter, a book, a magazine. It was such a great application. So this is a screenshot of PageMaker. And then a few months ago, because of Peg, I was introduced to the concept of Canva. And so, speaking about Debbie's issue with creating great graphics for her blog posts, it was as if the angels started singing and the clouds parted again. So Peg told me that she's using Canva to help me illustrate my blog posts. And oh my God, it was so great. And for a while, if Peg will admit this, she hid the fact that she was using Canva from everybody.
I did. I totally admit that I kept it a secret.
Because Canva was this secret weapon that made it so much easier and so much better for her to use, for her to create graphics for my blog post, that she wanted it to keep it as a competitive advantage. And so one day out of the blue, I get this tweet from the co-founders of Canva, and they say, Guy, let's have a conversation. We see that you use Canva. And I sent a message to Peg. I said, Peg, isn't this the company you really love and you're keeping secret? She goes, yeah, do anything you can to help them. And so that's the story of my connection to Canva. But my point here is that, there have been some killer apps in computing. Mac Paint was a killer app, PageMaker was a killer app, and now I think in design that Canva is a killer app. And basically, to explain what Canva is, I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the Canva homepage. Let's go up here to the homepage. And in a phrase, Canva is the ability, it's the tool, it's the empowerment to create amazingly simple graphics design tool. It's just a wonderful tool to create designs. And so this is the homepage. I'll give you a quick tour. Obviously, we have a blog, and we have a support link, and we have where we're hiring. But the key to Canva is down here. So we create these design templates. They're already optimized for each service, such as Pinterest, social media, presentations, posters, Facebook covers, blog graphics, Twitter homepage. Slide over here, and there's more like documents, cards, photo collages, business cards, invitations to Facebook.
I didn't see any of that.
Debbie didn't slide over yet. She's like, what? There's more?
There's a second bliss hole.
Debbie, you're gonna go deeper into the bliss hole, okay? Yeah. So now these are templates, and we have created designs for them. But in the event that we have not created the perfect design dimension for you, you can also click on this link and create custom dimensions. So down here we have your designs, and what your design shows are the designs that you have created already, so you can reuse those. We just added this feature called Editor's Picks, where the people at Canva have selected some of their favorite new designs. And then we have design tutorials over here, where we step you through short lessons about how to use Canva. And so this is the sort of the crux, the center of the Canva world. And just to illustrate, I'll click on Pinterest. So these are Pinterest templates optimized for the Pinterest layout. Over here we have these templates that you can just select, and then you can customize. So I'll select this one. Then you can change the text, you can change the color, change the background, all sorts of things. So this is the layout. You click on text, you can add plain text up here. We have all these pre-done banners and designs, so you could just stick this on top of that. We have backgrounds. So I'm not saying I'm creating a beautiful design right now. You could change the background of something, you could change the color of the background, and down here we have uploads. We have two kinds of uploads. One is where you have uploaded your own, and these are my pictures that I've uploaded. You can also click on Facebook, and now this is talking to my Facebook account, and it's going to grab the pictures that are in my Facebook account. So if you have pictures in Facebook, you don't have to re-upload them manually. You just click on that Facebook link. And in the event that you don't have an upload of your own personal picture in Facebook or manually, you can also search. So let's say you want it, well, it's not winter anymore, let's make it summer.
Unless you're here.
yeah, well, the temperature never rises in Keys. So I did a search for summer, and I found a summer image. Now, when you see the crosshatch and the word Canva here, it means that you have selected a picture that costs $1. We provide a very high resolution of it with the crosshatch, so you can see what it will look like on your design. On your way out, you'll be asked to pay $1 for this, and then the crosshatch and the logo will disappear. Now let me go back up to the home page, And as I explained earlier, we have a bunch of design tutorials. So now I'm going to turn it over to Peg, and I'm going to let her do a couple tutorials so you can see how easy it is to use Canva.
All right. I don't know if I can follow Guy up. That's tough. I will do my best.
Yeah. You'll have to give it a try.
I will do it.
So you're going to screen share?
I am going to screen share. I'm working on it, getting it started. I had to wait until Guy's was gone.
That's an interesting screen share.
That is. It wouldn't let me start until his was all the way done. Sorry.
Oh, interesting.
You're probably not used to using Hangouts, huh, Peg?
I never use Hangout. Different for me. Okay, can you see my going retro now, or not yet?
I'm not seeing your screen
okay,
share.
I'm sorry. It is coming now. It should be coming now.
Your video is still really clear, which
that's awesome. If my screen pops up, that would be even better.
It would be better if you could get your slide screen share up, but
it would. I'm working on it.
Usually, I find the video goes really blurry when you're transitioning to slide share, and
I'm hardwired.
There we go.
Did that go? Do I have going retro?
There we go.
There. Okay. Now are we on going? Do we have going retro up?
You have a badass unicorn up.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you that was a unicorn, but it's badass.
It's a badass unicorn. Okay, why will it not let that image go up, Guy? What did you click on? I'm sorry. We can only test one screen share in the Hangout. How come? What did you click on so you had that screen up?
Which screen up?
The one that you want to show. I have it on a tab.
When I first clicked on here, I'll grab screen share again, okay?
So, sorry, people at home.
So when I first grab screen share, it opens up a window that shows all the windows that I have open, and it lets me select a window.
Okay, let me drag that out so it's a separate tab. Maybe that will help. I have too many tabs in my world. Let's try this.
You're in a tab hole.
That's not funny. Okay, I see it. And we'll stop those jokes, and we'll go on to retro.
Oh, retro!
Ta-da! Sorry. Okay, so in Canva, where Guy was showing you on your homepage, there's a whole bunch of tutorials, and one of them is called Going Retro. These are also, we also email them out each week, which is awesome. People are so excited to get their email to learn a new lesson, and then once the lessons are out in the email, they load them on the website. So if you haven't missed anything, you can go back and do them all that are on here, and every week we publish a new design tutorial as well as a video that goes along with it. So we have a lot of teaching tools as well as just being a great site that's easy to use. It's you can teach yourself how to, that was awkward, you can be self-taught and how to make Canva designs, or you can get as much help as you want. So this one is Going Retro, 4 art movements to inspire your design if you want to do something a little different. It's really easy. You just scroll down. The Art Nouveau movement utilized ornate embellishments. They give you a couple examples. Now on the other side, they have a do where you're going to search banner, add a similar text style holder to this design. So they give you a little bit of instruction, and then you just go ahead and do it. So I'm going to pick a banner that kind of looks like that Art Nouveau. I'm going to drag it in. And then you just fit it where you want to put it. Canva has neat little guidelines that you can use to center. I don't know if you can see that on your screen, but right now I have grid lines that go across the middle and the center that tell me exactly that that's centered, which is a great design feature. So when you pull it up, you can see there's 3 colors in the banner, and these are all changeable. So if I want to make that the color of the little squirrel, I can just click on different colors and change the color of the banner if I had something that worked better with my brand. So you can see how easy it is just to make it gorgeous. And now they want you to add
That's gorgeous.
text. Well, not this. I'm working live. Let me there. Is that better?
Yeah.
And then I'll make the text white. And I should note, since we're live, Guy and I are not Canva designers. Guy is a chief evangelist, and I'm a social strategist. So we are not the designers that make the templates.
I think the point is that your use and your experience of it would probably be similar to all of ours.
Absolutely.
You're no better informed or able to use it any easier than myself or anyone else who's watching. And I found it incredibly easy. I've through last year, I really wanted to try and improve my image use, and I invested in a number of tools, different tools, one to help me create lower thirds, one to help me create Facebook ads, one to help me create all of my social media updates. And each of these different tools, none of them had any design elements or any design teaching.
Right.
And all of them had things that I could never complete a design just using that one tool. I always had to use 2 or 3 other tools in conjunction with that one tool to make a design that would take me maybe an hour, which is a long time to create a design, and I'd only be sort of happy with it in the end. With Canva, I love the search tool. The way the search tool works is actually brilliant, because I did that keep calm in Canva on picture. I did it in minutes, but when I was looking for the crown, what I searched for, my search term was keep calm, and it brought me the crown that I was looking for.
That's awesome.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. That's okay. But that is true. I mean, this is how people use it. This is how we learn. We go and we try it. They have ways that you can test it out, or you just jump in and when you have your own idea and make your thing from scratch. Either way is, A-okay. So when you're in here again, it has, more steps that are teaching you how to use different elements that'll help you in any design that you do. So this one is going to use chaotic angles and image layering. So I'm going to rotate the text at the angles to match the design. Just using the little, I don't even know what that's called. Just a little
rotation tool.
Guide name all my stuff. The rotation tool.
Can you rotate the pictures that you upload yourself?
Yes, you can rotate anything.
I haven't been able to find it.
Debbie, we can have a hangout after, and I can show you some more stuff. Because I've been playing with Canva when it was my secret.
Yeah, exactly.
For longer, and then you can move all the elements around. If you get stuck on a tutorial, you can just click "Need a hint," and it will take you and give you some help. See, and then it takes you right out. Can you hear it?
Hear something?
Oh, okay. So there is sound on there. I couldn't tell if you guys can hear it or not. So it takes you out to a quick little video. That's just a 20-second video on YouTube that actually has voice, and it's somebody with a lovely Australian accent telling you how to do the things that I was just doing. So sometimes if the tutorial is a little bit more advanced than you've already learned on your own, each step here will give you, there's 4 different steps in this one tutorial, so you're learning 4 things. If you get stuck, all you have to do is watch the little videos. So this one, you're going to change the bright colors to match the samples. We have little pastels in here. So you just click on the color, and it has the little color palette up here. If you'll notice, it has the primary colors, but it also has the colors that are in the palette, the light blue, the lavender, and the green. So whenever you're working in a Canva design, you can click on the palette, and it pulls all the colors up so you can use them in different parts, which is really nice. And you can also put custom colors in to match your brand.
And once you type in the custom colors once, it's there in the color palette.
It stays in the design, yes. So this one is easy. So you're just going to go in there and do that. So if you did want to put your own custom color, you would just click on here, on the color, sorry. Click on this little plus sign and it gives you more choices. So you can either change the color or you can just change the, I think these are the hex codes. You can just type it in and that will give you the color. So that's how you could match your brand or just change the tone of that color if you wanted. The last one is creating symmetry by shifting all the elements to the middle. And this again is where you'll see, I don't know if you can see it, they're very subtle, but when you're in the design you'll see it yourself. There's little grid lines that pop up to help you center things, which is so helpful because you think it's centered when you're looking at it with your naked eye, but you can't really see that. So you just use the grid lines and you get everything centered. That one looks like it's not. But it gives you, no matter where you're moving it, it'll give you grid lines on the side or the end. So that was pretty easy. So now I just learned, 4 different skills in my, that I can use in any Canva designs. And that's just within one tutorial. So now if I go back out, and I click on Design Tutorials, that's where you'll see all of them. These are all the choices that you have. And they always stay in here, so if you forget how to use one of the features, you can go back and do them at any time. Totally, you know, whenever you want to. And then I really do like the videos as well, because sometimes it just gives you a little bit more detail. So photo filters are a really special feature in Canva. At first when I started them, I thought it would just be like a regular filter like in Instagram, but it's much more robust. It has additional features. It has some set features like Instagram, but you can customize all the filters, and this tutorial is going to show you some things that you can do. So in this photo, I'm going to increase the saturation of the background image, and I click on Filter, and then it pops up a couple choices. If I just wanted to use the ones in Canva, you can just click on these and use these in any of your photos. But if I have it on normal and I just want to increase the saturation, I go into my advanced options and then I just drag that over. And if you'll notice, there's a filter code right there that pops up. As I change it, that filter code is changing. So when I get it where I like it, if I'm doing a series of photos, I can cut and paste this filter code and save it, and I can use it on any images that I want. That's how brands tile their photos together, by using custom filters. So even if you have a bunch of different photos, you can make them look similar by using the same filter. So with this photo filter, they're giving you the filter code to add to the background image. So I'm going to cut and paste that. Then I'm going to click on the image, and then my filter will pull up. I click on Filter. I think I need to go in Advanced Options so I can change that. I paste it in. And I hit Enter, and there it changed the code automatically to match that filter code. The next one, you can change the image and the mood by applying different filters. So this one, I'm just going to click on it again. I'm going to pull up the filter, and I'm going to add the drama filter. Right now it's on normal, and then if you click on drama, you can see that it makes a dramatic change to the image.
Drama filter is perfect for you. You're such a drama queen.
You think? That's not
the name of the filter.
That's not actually my favorite filter. I actually like Festive is my favorite.
Okay. I'll just mute my microphone again.
That's okay. Just go ahead and say stuff. So now, to get your image back to normal, if you chose a filter it wasn't perfect, you can just click on it again, hit Filter, and then if you click Normal, it will take your picture back to its original state. And that is Fabulous Photo Filters. There's still, there's one more. I think that was supposed to be at the top there. That's the intro. So you're going to use the same photo filter throughout all of your design. So if you look at these, I believe I already did it on these. Let's check. We'll change it to something else. We'll change it to festive so they're all matching. This is a photo collage. And I'm going to change all the images. And you can see that it ties the pictures together, where even if you had different lighting. So you can see how you could use this for blog posts or Facebook covers, anything that you want to use. You could pull different pictures in and then have them all tied together like that. And again, need a hint, you can click on that. It will take you to the video tutorial. And then when you're finished, you can save it. You can also tweet that you did that you've created a tutorial. So those are the design tutorials. Like I said, we add one every week, and we add new videos as well. So there's a lot of different teaching tools. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with design, don't be, because you can teach yourself some quick tips.
Okay, so can I do a tutorial just to show you that even I can do a tutorial?
Okay,
yes,
can I add commentary?
Yes, and the commentary from the Q&A chat, Stephen Shannon says, is Guy a drama king then?
I'm a blissful.
We're actually both really drama.
Blissful.
Honestly, we're both drama free. We just like to do our thing, and we're busy doing our thing.
Okay, so I'm going to do a tutorial called 5 Rules for Strong Layout Design, because I love strong layouts. Right, Peg?
Yes.
So this is the same kind of tutorial that Peg just used. On the side here, they're showing you this 3x3 grid, and they're going to show you, or I'm going to show you, how you add photos to a grid. So there are these grid designs that create automatically, and all you have to do is drag these pictures in. So they're saying you add some food, so I'll search for food, and it's going to find all these food pictures. And so I like sushi, and I like rice.
That is true.
And I like whatever that is.
That's your favorite.
And I like whatever that is, pie.
That looks like pie.
So basically, that's all it takes to create a 2x2 grid of pictures. So you search for a picture on the left side here, you put it in there. You could also use your own pictures, of course, but I'm going through the tutorial as quickly as I can. Secondly, you need to balance and straighten things out. And so this is a really simple tutorial. All you're going to do is use those grid lines. You see how those grid lines are lining up? And it's telling me that now this thing is perfectly centered and perfectly aligned. So boom, I'm done. And like Peggy was telling you, anytime you need help, you just click on Need a Hint, and it brings out a short little YouTube video where Melanie, the founder of Canva, is going to personally tell you how to do each of these things. The next thing is to think outside the box and trying to put in a circle frame. So I'll show you what that is. A frame is a thing that logically holds a picture. So I'm going to search for frame. And down here we're going to find a whole bunch of frames, and let's use.
Those are all too girly for you. There's one.
You need like a beer mug shape or something
Let's
like
use that one.
Football shape.
So I'll use this, okay? And not that I'm immodest or anything, but let's just say that I wanted to stick my face in that frame. So boom.
That's what I do all the time. I make them and I put your face in them.
That's it. So what you saw me do is I searched for the word frame. I found a nice circular frame. I put it on the image. Then I dragged a photo that I had uploaded, because believe me, that photo is not a stock photo for sale. And I put my circular picture in there. So that's step number 3. Step number 4 is to put in a new image into this 2-column grid. And so it says insert a feature image of a sandy beach. So again, we go to our search area here, and I will search for the word beach. And I find a nice sandy beach. I drag it in, and Basically, boom, I'm done. And of course, just like Peggy showed you, you can apply these filters. So let's say I wanted to make it a grayscale beach. And I will also do something Peg did not show you. Let's say you
Which
want
is my
to
favorite.
blur this. So now that is a blurry grayscale beach, or I can go back to normal and blur that. So this is a blur filter that you can also use.
Which
So
is the hugest time saver. If you do that with your camera, it takes a lot longer. Unless you're a really bad photographer, maybe you get it all the time.
Okay, so this exercise is now to take an icon and drag it over here and put it on this. So we have some pictures of a sandy beach and starfish and bird of paradise and some pina coladas or something. So we want to look for an icon. So we'll search for icon. Oh. Let me go back here. Scroll back down here.
It's nice that the tool auto saves as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Saved me a few times.
Okay, so let us put, what kind of icon? Let's put a palm tree icon here. So we'll put the palm tree icon. We will resize it. And as we say in Paris, voila, we're done. Outside the grid, added an icon. And so this is an example of doing some simple things, aligning things, adding photos, creating frames for photos, taking icons and adding it. But basically the gist is you have this palette of tools here, you have a search engine over here, and you can search through stock photography. Whenever you see a Canva logo with the crosshatch, it means that you have selected a piece of art that you will be paying $1 for on your way out. So now I will actually show you a real live use case. So let's just say that you're an author, and as an author you would like to create a Pinterest ad. This Pinterest ad, you would like to do something very simple. I can of course use any of these templates, but I want to create one from scratch to show you arguably the hardest case of using Canva, where you're not using anything in advance. So I will create, first I'll select the background, I'll make it black, then I'll go to my uploads, and I will grab this really beautiful book cover here, and that book cover is over there, and now Pinterest kind of layout, optimized to the Pinterest size. I'm going to drag this down a little bit. I'm going to go grab some text. I want to have a little round thing like, let's say this. I want this to be red, and I want the text to be white, and I want it to say on sale. Okay, and then I will resize it. I'll get rid of that phone call. I'll drag it over here in the corner. Okay, so let's pretend that is a beautiful ad. Okay? Now I click on, now at this point I have some choices. If I click on this, I will share this to my Twitter followers, similar to my Facebook followers, but in fact I'm trying to actually create a graphic file that I can pin. So I'm going to link and publish. I'm going to create this. Now at this point we can take this link and send it to other people to look at, or I can click here and this will allow people who get the link to actually edit. So if you're working with clients, you would turn that on, you would send them a different link, and that link would be editable by the recipient so that the client can say, yeah, I would like to move this, change this color, change this text. In this case, all I'm really going to do is actually prepare the image. So now this is going through, and it's in the cloud, and it's actually rendering this as a file. Now it's done. And so now I switch over to Pinterest, the avid pinner that I am. I'm going to add a pin from my computer. I'm going to go look for that file. That file is in my downloads folder. And, of course, I have it organized this way. I will do it this way. And let's go find...
I hope Pinterest switches to drag and drop images sometime.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing they haven't yet.
So I am going to post this now to, let's say, Gizmo Gifts for Geeks.
You have an ape board.
Yeah, but then it will stand out less because everything will have the ape cover. Right? So buy my book now. Okay? So now I pin it. So now we have effectively pinned this. However, this pin at this point does not link to where you can buy the book, and that is the whole point after all. So now I click on this little pencil. I put in, oops, I would go and put in the Amazon link, right? And from there, well, let's actually do that. So I don't want you to think that I'm not capable of doing that.
Social media note, you would never actually write buy my book now. That would be a little bit of a hard sell.
Oh, well, but I'm into hard sell. Okay, so now I have created this beautiful Pinterest ad, and when people click on it, they go to Amazon and buy my book. So in about a minute, I could create a Pinterest ad and deploy it, and I'm done. So that is one use case for Pinterest and working with Canva. So you want to show them example too?
Sure.
Let me give you back.
I had a question come through from the Q&A. Someone, Dustin Stout, asked, how long do you normally spend creating these visuals?
I like to say that I can probably create a blog visual in less time than you can boot other high-end graphics applications. How's that?
Well, Dustin is a designer. Dustin is a graphic designer, so he would probably take a while on his because he is a designer. But
he's a higher standard.
Well, no, he just he maybe would add more elements that we would think of. But it depends on the image. Like I would say, like this one that I did, this Pinterest image took me maybe last 5 minutes at the very most.
Yeah.
And it got 15 repins. So one of the ways that I use Canva is to make graphics for Pinterest and for my blog. I also use it to create images if I find something to share, but it doesn't have a good shareable image, which is quite common now. If you put the link in on Facebook or Google+, you may get something that you wouldn't want to share. So I will actually go and create an image for a blog post. This was one that we did for Canva. This one got 79 repins. Yes.
Peg, give me the screen back for a second. I'll show what you mean by that, because I think
you got it.
Yeah.
I guess Peg has to turn on.
I'm doing it. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'll show you an example of, let's say that you. If
you look on your Google Plus profile, there's posts that I did that I made images for.
I also had a question. There is a function when you're creating your image in Canva where you can embed a link, but I haven't found what I had hoped that would do is when I put a link into my image, it means that now you can click on that image anywhere and it's linked to a website. But I didn't find it. Maybe it's not functional, or I didn't use it right, or maybe I misinterpreted.
I'll have to check on that, Debbie, because I tried that yesterday, and same thing. So maybe it only works when it's on a blog. Maybe it won't work on social media because the social media sites override that. I'm not positive. So I have to check, because I actually had that question too, but I wrote it down. We'll post the answer to that into the event.
That's why you should never go off script.
Right.
And Guy is back.
Peg, why don't you continue, Peg?
Okay.
What happened there?
Do you want to show a blog post, or?
Well, I'm afraid to now. Okay.
I'll do it. I will do it because I have one that I did.
Okay.
You can always get back to the Hangout.
Yes. You can always come back. You can never go. Okay,
And
let
your
me
lower third is gone, just FYI.
Oh.
That's
Oh
the
my God.
least. That's the least. If you're back, so that's the better part. Okay, so what I was saying was that sometimes when you find something that you want to post on Google+, it won't have an image that is something that you would want to share. Either it's too small, it's maybe a little bit too busy for what you want to do, or maybe you're a brand and you want to make all of your graphics match. Like Dustin, I would say, is a good example of someone who ties all of his content together visually. So if he sees one that he likes, but he doesn't want to share the image, then he can create his own image. So let me just grab one on Google Plus here. So what I will do is sometimes I will go into Canva and I'll just create a quick image. This one is a post that didn't have a big image. Aaron Lee wrote a post for Post Planner, 25 social pros drop wisdom on how to grow a vibrant online community. So I went in and I used a template in Canva and I created this image in probably 5-10 minutes tops. Yeah. And the image, you know, it looks awesome. I used a stock photo that was $1. And it has 57 plus ones and 10 shares. I also used it on Facebook, and I pinned it. So, yes, it does take me a minute to make my own photo, but it's always worth it because I pin it. I add the link for people to go to Pinterest. Here's the pin it for later link. When I click it on this, it's going to go to Pinterest, and there's my big Pinterest image. So it got 7 repins and 2 likes. So I've repurposed a blog post that I didn't write it, and it links to Post Planner, but it gave me a really great social sharing across Pinterest, Google+, Facebook, and Twitter. So that's a pretty good bang for your 10-minute buck, I think.
I think whether you're writing the content yourself, I mean, if what you did was you got way more bang out of a share that would have taken you 30 seconds or 15 seconds just to share the blog post as it is. You got so much more social value out of it because you added the image, and it took you 3 minutes or 5 minutes to do so, rather than a couple of hours of writing the blog post.
But also, if you just share a link on Facebook or Google+, it's really not going to get that much interaction. Guy and I have done a lot of testing on posts with images and posts without images. It makes a huge difference. So it's worth it to me if I find something really good to share, to make my own image and then just share it everywhere with a really great image. It's worth it. It's worth the time. And once you practice in Canva, it's very, very quick to make something that looks great, and you can customize it for your own brand. Easy.
So,
do you find that in Facebook that, I mean, I heard some arguments that text-only updates were being shown to a larger amount of your friends list, and it makes sense that image-based updates would have more engagement because people can just respond and react to your image, whereas they have to read text.
That it's actually true. Text does get higher, gets put in the newsfeed more, but images get more engagement, sharing, and comments. So, it's still worth it. We've tested that. We've tested that a lot on Guy's page, on his Facebook page as well.
Yeah, I wanted to point it out because everyone asked me too. They're like, well, sometimes it should be text only, sometimes it should be image only, and yes, when you want engagement, go for an image that makes you want to respond.
Right.
Well, I also think that, I mean, Peg and I will swear that Facebook changes their algorithm every day.
Or frequently.
or for you, they do.
Well,
you up.
I'm on it. I'm constantly paying attention to it. I think that the key on Facebook is to mix it up. We do a mixture of everything. Videos are so small on Facebook now, they don't get that much engagement, but we mix it up. We post everything. We post a text update every now and then, but not an important blog post. We do images. So
do we have some more elements of the presentation, or are we ready to go into Q&A?
I think we're good. Let's go Q&A, right, Peg?
Yeah.
Awesome, because we've got some good questions coming up, and I certainly have some that I wanted to ask. I think the first one that I'll go with is from Kelly Lux. She says, how do you resize the images? For example, if I want a 600 by 300, and I think that's a really key point in the question that she's asking, because when I create an image for my social channels, I usually start with a piece of content that I'm creating the image to go with, and that content will have variations across all of my social channels, but it will be the same image in essence. So how do you change without having to start the image from scratch all over again?
You can't actually change the size of the image in Canva once you start it right now. As Canva is right now, it's not something that you can do.
So is that something you think that they have heard complaints or requests from more than just myself and are working on it, perhaps?
Yeah, that's probably something that, but most people like to do is to change a size if you start it and then you decide you want a different one. But yeah, as it is right now, we're working on tons and tons of new updates. So pretty much every week we come out with something awesome. So I'm sure something will pop up eventually for that.
Okay, so then the answer is if you want 600 by 300, you would use the custom sizing tab and create the image at the exact size that you want.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Excuse me for a second. I'll be right back. I gotta show you something.
Okay. So do we have more questions?
Do you know Stephen Shannon?
Why? What did he just say?
Well, he asked about the plant that you had in that image. He says, "Is that plant?"
That was a stock
from
image.
Colorado. Is it Mary Jane?
No, it was a light bulb with a random plant. It was not.
Oh, it was a light bulb. I wasn't sure what that thing on the bottom was. But that makes sense.
Yeah.
In my case, the more reps I have, the faster and more nifty I become. More from Stephen. Okay, so other questions.
Can I show you something?
Please.
So absolutely. Can you see this well?
Awesome.
I bought this rock
yesterday.
It's a pebble kind of thing, and it's engraved. Awesome. So I saw this yesterday and bought this. I just wanted to show. There's nothing to do with Canva. I just wanted to show you.
Okay, thank you, guys.
I have a rock like that says "dream" on it.
Yeah. We should put our rocks together. It'd be awesome dream.
Awesome dream, absolutely. You send me the image of it. Okay, questions. I'm not seeing too many more questions. A lot of great comments. A lot of people saying that they really like it. Images have provided my company much more share value than standard text posts. That's from Natalie Addis.
Mm-hmm. I should note that Dustin, who's in the Hangout right now, is going to be interviewing Melanie, the CEO of Canva, soon. So she'll be on a Hangout with Dustin, which should be awesome because he's a designer and she is a designer and a co-founder and CEO. So make sure Dustin can maybe put a link to his Hangout so people can attend that.
Absolutely, Dustin. If you want to put that right on my G+ page, that would be great.
Debbie, I'm looking at your picture and I don't see any of my books on your shelf. Now, what's with that?
Sorry, what do you mean? On my shelf? Well, no,
yeah, you see them all on my shelf.
No. It's absolutely unlike my picture. Which shelf? Where's my books? No, your books are all over the place.
Okay. I was gonna send you some in case you didn't.
Oh, I'll take more copies.
Okay.
But well, definitely, they're here. I refer to it often. It's
there's a Pinterest ad. All you have to do is click on that ad, and you'll be right at Amazon. You'll be able to buy one.
Absolutely. I'll keep on sharing it. We launched season 2 of Sparkle SOS Book Authors and Publishers with Bob Berg on Thursday. So we'll definitely be promoting all of the past Hangout guests. Someone asked, Stephen Q. Shannon asked if one of you would like to demo now Google Plus Hangout banners.
Google Plus.
Right now you have to do the banners you have to do that in a custom dimension right now. But again, those are things that will be most likely coming soon to a Canva near you. Right now, you have to do custom dimensions for the Google Plus header and event banners.
And Robert Allen asks about if there's a transparent option that we could use Canva to create lower thirds and screen overlays that are not complete screen overlays.
That is another element that we have talked about, because transparencies is something that are important for Google Hangouts. So Google Plus fans, Guy and I are amongst your people. We totally understand.
You're one of us.
For Google Plus.
That's a mild understatement.
Yeah, we love Google Plus. So keeping that in mind, you know that we asked for all the Google Plus stuff. We love Google Plus, so.
Awesome. So you're there working for us Hangout peeps day in and day out.
Of course. Google Plus is important to Guy, both of us, socially all the time. So yeah.
Maybe we could get Vic Gandotra to do some template designs for us.
Guy.
Thanks, Guy. You just start all the chatter. Let's get TechCrunch in here now. Let me move on to the next question before we go off on a tangent. Okay, so that was the question about the banner. We got that. And then Natalie asked the question, sorry if I missed the answer to this earlier, but does Canva charge a monthly fee? So what are the fees like with Canva?
Right now, the only way you can pay is if you select a graphic that is from the stock photo library. So whenever you see a graphic that has the crosshatch with the big Canva logo on it, it means that you will be charged on the way out $1 for that. And I discovered something it's very interesting. So let's say you create this graphic, you paid the $1. And then 10 minutes later, you decide, wow, I want to change the color text or something like that. Well, for 24 hours, because you paid that $1, you can continue to revise your design. It's not $1 per time. You can use that design for the next 24 hours, changing it because you paid $1 one time.
Mm-hmm. Right. So it's a one-time graphic design use of the image for $1. Yes. It's not you can't use the image multiple times on multiple graphics. It would be per graphic, but you can edit the graphic for 24 hours after you create it.
Exactly.
I think that sounds pretty good. I mean, it sounds like a fairly average image cost.
Well, if you go to some place, some of these stock photography places, they're $15 or $20 for those photos. So.
Yeah,
it depends on what you're using. Yeah. It can be a lot more, and a lot of them you have to sign up for like a monthly plan to get a lower rate, and then you're tied in for like a certain amount of photos, and if you don't use it, you're kind of wasting your money. But you can also use your own photos too, so you can make free designs all day long using all the free elements and free photos, your photos. Or you can customize it, and I personally find using the stock images in Canva just to be so easy because they size in there perfectly.
I find them easy, but the one thing that I never did before in social media that it's like, why did I never do this? Because it's the easiest way to create something dramatic and readable and shareable is just to adjust an image that I have, whether it's one of my own photos or I was a member of a stock photo website for a month where I was trying to buy 10 images and download 10 images for future use later. So I've got a couple hundred photos that I bought maybe a year ago and never used any of them. The easiest thing I find is that in Canva, when you click on the template, it brings you all of the options of all of the templates, and I find there's the option, I guess it's under social media, where it shows you the text graphics. And so I'll take any one of those ones that have a Canva social media image in behind, where I like the way that the words are designed over top of the image. I'll copy that, change it, put in my own image, and then it's free, and it takes me about 1.5 minutes to do.
Right, it's quick. And also, one thing that we didn't mention is that when you create your own design, that you have permission to use it. There's, permission for photos is really tricky. If you don't want to deal with, citing your sources and, finding out if you can legally use the photo, when you make your whole image, you know that you have permission to use it. You've got graphics that you're allowed to use. So it actually saves you a lot of time, and you're using photos and images legally for your blog graphics and your headers. So,
particularly if you're working for a large brand, it gets very tricky, right? A large brand is a deep pocket that someone would love to go after you. So at that point, you're probably buying all the photos to play very safe, but you could create headlines and stuff with Canva. You never have to worry about this. So that is,
right. It's a good point.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we've gotten to about all of the questions.
Okay.
Someone has requested if we can add the Google Plus image sizes to the event page, and I can absolutely do that afterwards. As far as for Hangouts on Air, that's a part of what I provide in my training. And if anybody does have any other questions that come up afterwards, if you're watching this video after today and you have some questions, you can either go into Canva and try it out and reach out to Peg and Guy, or you can leave questions on the page for me. I'll be coming back to this page occasionally and picking up any questions and answering them in blog posts and updated Hangouts.
Well, Peg and I have very hard to remember email addresses. Peg is peg@canva.com and Guy is guy@canva.com.
There you go.
Yeah. And we have a blog. That blog has a lot of high-value content. We have these tutorials. If you sign up for our email list, you're not going to get a lot of promotion. You're going to get a lot of inspiration and education. And I just want people to remember 4 words about Canva, which is amazingly simple graphic design. That's the key. Thank you very much, Debbie.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, and thank you everybody for watching. And we'll be back soon with another Sparkle SOS, Social Sparkle and Shine Hangout really soon. Take care, everyone.